So it's been a while since I've made a YouTube video. I've been extremely busy, but this one I couldn't pass up. I thought this would be a excellent video since I don't think I've seen any on YouTube. But what we're going to do to this beautiful Tacoma guitar right here, I think it's a PM15, we're going to install an acoustic pickup, a Piezo pickup under saddle. It's pretty easy to do. I thought it would make a good video. So what we're going to do is put a under saddle transducer right here, Piezo pickup, and an input jack right here, an end pin jack. So this is going to be a passive system with no preamp. Very simple to do. I'm going to show you how to do it. Alright, here we have the pickup. This is it right here. It's a Piezo pickup. Very simple. Right here is the end pin jack, and it's going to plug right into this, and we're going to mount this right here, right underneath the saddle. Alright, and then this is a system that's a lot more complicated. This has a preamp, an active preamp. It's battery powered. Here's the preamp right here. And you got your volume and tone controls, an onboard tuner. And I'm going to install that in the next video. This one's a bit more complicated, and you'll probably want to get this done at your local luthier, but after you watch my video you can decide. Alright, I taped off the saddle slot and tried the fit, and it's a nice fit. This is a 3mm slot, and this is a 2.5mm pickup. So what you want to do is put it in your slot, upside down, and center it. Alright, mine happens to fit in here just about right. So I'm going to drill my hole right in the end of the slot here. Now you're going to want to take an inspection mirror like this. Make sure you put this down. You can get these at any auto parts store, by the way. Put these down in the hole, and you're going to want to look under here, make sure there's no braces in your way. This one is fine, because you can put the hole on either end. So there's no brace in the way. So what I'm going to do is drill a hole here. Now the directions say to use a 1/8 inch drill bit, but that's a little too snug for me. You could wind up doing some damage. A 1/8 inch drill bit barely fits in the saddle slot. I mean, it's really tight. You have to push it. So what I did is I'm going to use a number 32 drill bit. It's about just under 3mm, 2.88mm. So what we're going to do is put this right in the corner in this slot. Okay, we're going to drill that hole very slowly. That's all there is to that. And we're going to take our pickup. Just twisting the ends here. There we go. We're going to feed this down the hole. There we go. Alright, we're going to check the fit. You know, it fits in here really well. Alright, that's about all there is to that. Okay, then we're going to have to take our saddle, the original saddle, and we're going to have to shave off 2.5mm to make up for, you know, what we've added to the saddle slot. Now you're going to want to check your saddle slot and make sure that it's perfectly flat, perfectly smooth, that there's no glue or any residue or anything down in there, because for this to work properly, your piezo pickup's gotta sit perfectly flat in that slot. That's how you're going to get good transfer of sound from the strings through the saddle into your pickup. Alright, next we're going to do some soldering for the jack. Okay, next step. What you're going to want to do is remove your end pin, which I've already done anyway. Then you're going to drill this hole out, and the directions for this end pin jack are 1/2 inch. But you're not going to want to use a 1/2 inch bit because there's a good chance you're going to get tear out here. You could use a really good step bit, or I'm just going to use this peg hole reamer right here. And it happens to be a 1/2 inch reamer, so what I'll do is put it in this hole like this, and I'm just going to keep working it. Little by little, slowly, taking it out, reaming it, until I get a 1/2 inch hole in there. So, alright, and then you're going to be able to install the jack. Well, I didn't bore you with the details, but anyway, here it is, it's all finished. With a nice clean hole. Alright. Then we'll be able to install the end pin jack. But first, I'm going to have to pull the wire from the pickup out here, and I'm going to have to solder the jack to it so that I can put it back in. Some of these you can buy, they'll have a plug where you can just push this in and plug the pickup to it. This one's not like that. I'm going to have to hardwire it, and I'll show you how to solder that up. Now we have to fish the wire through that end pin jack hole, which is, my arms are a little too big for that with this guitar. So what I use is one of these right here. This is kind of a fancy one made out of brass, but you can just get yourself a dowel and attach a regular guitar cord end onto it. What you do is you fish it through the hole right here, and I'm just going to tape the wire to the end, pull it through the backs of the guitar here. Just like this. And I'm going to fish this right through the back, just like that. There we go. Anyway, next, this will give me plenty of lead here to solder the jack on the end. Alright, here's a close-up of the jack I'm ready to solder. Now you can see what I'm trying to point with here. This right here is the braided lead of the wire. This is what's wrapped around this wire. So you're going to want to separate the two, and you're going to solder the braided lead, the ground, to this right here. Then you're going to solder the skinny wire here to this lead right here. Excuse my shaky hands, right here. Alright, so first I'm going to solder the braided lead. I'm going to clip off the end. Alright, that's soldered on there. And we're going to try to solder this wire to that little hole right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed it through that hole. I've already tinned the end of it. As you can see, there's solder on the end. I'm going to put that wire through there, and I'll come back and solder it. Have to switch hands here. There we go. Alright, now that I've got it all soldered, I'm going to pass it back through the hole and up through the sound hole here. One thing I forgot to mention is on the pickup, the hardware on the wire, you have to slide it on the wire first. There we go. So if you reach down here, there we go. We've got the lock washer and the nut goes on here, and I've made a mark with a black magic marker of where this goes, where to stop it. Alright, so we're going to screw this on. There we go, and then we're going to get the end. There we go. Right about there. Okay. Now I'm going to pass it back through. Pull it through the hole. There we go. Slide the washer on and the nut. Just going to tighten it up. And you may have to do this a couple of times till you get it sticking out just the right amount. Alright, that's pretty good. There's a little hole in here. You can slip an Allen key through this hole. To hold it while you tighten it with a wrench. Alright, what we're going to do is just, I've got this snugged up here really tight by hand first. We're just going to fit this wrench over here. Stick the Allen through this hole and just give it a tight turn. There you go, nice and tight. And here's the strap button. You're just going to stick it on. Screw it on here. You just do this finger tight. There it is. Okay, here is the saddle. I'm actually putting on a new saddle. I'm going to scratch the old one because it was kind of beat up. But this is a vintage water buffalo bone compensated saddle that I'm putting in, and you can see I've marked the bottom of it, the thickness of the Piezo pickup, about 2.5 millimeters, and it's roughly going to be the same size as the old saddle, less the thickness of the pickup. And I've given it a little so I can bring it down slowly as I need it to get the string action exactly where I want it. So you don't have to take it all off at once. It's a good starting point. It'll probably take me 2 or 3 tries sanding the bottom down to get the string action exactly where I want it. But anyway, that's the saddle, and now I'm going to sand it down. Okay, well, a couple more things I want to mention. I got it, I've filed it down now to the height pretty much where I want it. For the pickup to work correctly, the saddle here is going to have to be just a tiny bit loose in the slot. Because how this pickup works is on vibration of the strings. So you really want the saddle to be able to move up and down freely. So you're going to sand it just ever so slightly so that it's going to wobble in the slot. And what happens when you string it up is the saddle is going to lean forward just a little bit. So the bottom of the saddle, if it's perfectly flat, will not touch the pickup perfectly. So what you're going to want to do is ever so slightly sand a slight angle so that when it's leaning forward like this, it's flat on the bottom, so that it's making 100% contact on the pickup. So that's pretty important if you want to get even sound with every string and get a nice tone. So that's just one more thing I wanted to mention. Now I'm just going to string it up, and basically it's completed. So there you go. Alright, let's try it out, see if it works. This is not an acoustic guitar amp, but it'll work. Awesome. So there's no preamp on here, no volume control, no tone control. Everything has to be done through an amplifier, but gets a nice tone.